Have you ever heard of the acronym WHIP or UFO or FO and don't really know what they mean? I'm going to be going over some of the most popular and used knitting acronyms. So if you've been trying to figure out, this is the place to be. Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name's Julie and I'm the knitwear designer behind Twin Stitches Designs. Today we are going to be going over some fun knitting acronyms or knitting slang. Now these are words that you will have heard in either podcast or people writing them or people just referring to them. And you may not know what each of these mean. So don't worry, I've got you. But first, make sure you click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on any fun videos. We upload a brand new video every Thursday and Monday, so you don't want to miss out. And if you ever have any fun videos that you would like to see on the channel, make sure to let me know down below. Okay, let's dive into all of these slang and words because there are a ton. Now, for the first up, what is an FO? What does FO stand for? FO is finished object. So this is something when we are referring to once we've finished and we've gotten something off of the needles. When you've finished an object, we sometimes call it an FO. Hot off the needles. HOTN. Sometimes you can see that. What does that mean? It just means the same thing as an FO, but it is hot off of your needles. This just means that it is a brand new finished object that you literally just finished and is hot off the needles. Now don't worry about writing any of these down. I will put all of the descriptions down below this video for you so you don't have to take note and you can just watch all of these fun ones. Sleeve Island. So this one is a fun one. Sleeve Island is considered when you are knitting a sweater and you get to the sleeves and you have this long rows of stockinette in the round, or it seems daunting because you obviously have to do two. And we call it Sleeve Island just because it's somewhere where you feel like you're going forever and ever and ever. And it takes you so long. So people don't really like Sleeve Island. This is something, you know, that you can hear say that it's really just it's taking forever to finish and you are knitting on your sleeves. So you call it Sleeve Island. If I don't mention one of them that you know, please put them down below because knowledge is key and let's share all of the fun knowledge and knitting acronyms. Frogging. Now this is a fun one and it took me a bit of a while when I first started knitting to figure out what's frogging. Why are people calling something frogging? So when you take a project and you need to rip it out, this is how clever knitters are. They took ripping because when you rip it, rip it, rip it, sounds like a frog. So when you rip something back, we call it frogging because of the rip it, rip it, rip it motion of ripping out a project. So frogging just means that I've had to frog a project, or I'm frogging means that I am ripping it out, that I'm going to either repurpose the yarn or do something else, but it just means that we are ripping out our project and starting over again. So that's one of my favorite ones. I just think it's so cute. I mean, who thought of this? I love it. The next one is a HO, which is sometimes called a hoe. But it's not. It is called a halved object. So we had FO, which is a finished object, and a hoe is a half object. Now these are mostly referred to for socks. So I have one halved object because you do need two because you have 2 feet. Same thing with some mittens. Something where you do need two of them, you can see that HO is referred. The next one is called a UFO. This one is a unfinished object. So sometimes you'll hear people refer to, I have so many UFOs just sitting here, meaning that I have so many unfinished objects or projects that are literally just sitting here waiting for me to cast on or to reknit or to pick up the needles. So that is a UFO. Yarn Chicken. Now this is another cheeky one that I absolutely adore. Yarn Chicken is a game that knitters play, they don't want to play, when you are running out of yarn. So when you are knitting up a project and you only have this little tiny little ball left and you need to finish the end of a sleeve or a sock or whatever, you're playing Yarn Chicken. Because knitters are trying to get it done before the ball runs out. So this is a fun, cheeky way of just saying, I am running out of yarn, I am playing Yarn Chicken. Yeah, I think I like Yarn Chicken better than frogging. I don't know, both of those are up there for me. Which one's your favorite one? Let me know below. I just think it's so adorable and cute. I mean, who comes up with these things? Now, if you see MKAL, this is called a knit along. So a MKAL and knit along is usually somewhere where a bunch of knitters come together and they knit up a same project, a theme, anywhere together. This could be on Instagram, on Ravelry, in certain groups. Knit alongs are really fun and a great way to get that community aspect together. So they have the knit along and crochet along. So depending if you are a knitter or crocheter, and sometimes you will even see MKAL, which is make along. We don't want to make sure that we include all of them. So a make along usually includes both knit and crochet, and then a knit along is knitting. The crochet along is crochet. So you can see a bunch of those acronyms and all of those kind of refer to the same thing. LYS means local yarn store. This one took me a long time. I think someone said like something like, what's your favorite LYS? And I'm like, what's an LYS? Like, what is this? You guys are just making these up. Local yarn store. That's all that is. That's all it is. A yarn store that's near you. That really is. Procrastinating. This is one of my favorites as well. I just think it's so adorable. This is when you are supposed to be doing so many other things, but all you're doing is sitting and knitting. You're procrastinating because you would rather be knitting than doing anything else. This could include laundry or dishes or cleaning or, I don't know, sleeping. So procrastinating. I think it's just adorable. We are going through. I have my list. The stash. What is a stash? Stash is your yarn. Depending, you can have a stash of 5 skeins or 100 skeins. It's just the number or the amount of yarn that you have in your stash. So a stash is just a personal amount of yarn that you have. It could be for your own, it could be just around the house or anywhere. It is a stash of yarn. So it's just your personal little yarn shop. Call it that, because it's your own personal yarn storage. When you hear someone say vanilla, it just means plain stockinette. So you will sometimes hear, oh, I'm looking for a plain vanilla sock. I'm looking for, you know, just that vanilla knitting. Vanilla knitting just means something easy, something simple, stockinette, just knitting in the round is a vanilla. So a lot of times you will also see your basic vanilla sock pattern, meaning that all the numbers are there, but it's just in stockinette, which is something that a lot of people love, depending on where you are. And if you're wanting for something a little bit less complicated, vanilla knitting can be nice because it's just easy, go to, and plain stockinette. So that is what vanilla knitting is. Yarn barf. I love these. I love them. Yarn barf. This is something that your girl hates. I will avoid yarn barf at all costs. I hate it. This is when, have you ever pulled out the cake of yarn and it's just a beautiful tangled mess? That's a yarn barf. Have you ever had when you're trying to wind up skeins of yarn and it all gets into a tangled mess? That's a yarn barf. You have to untangle it because it just looks like a big yarn barf. Again, who comes up with these? I love it. A skein or a hank and a cake. Now these are 3 different ways to be able to say a ball of yarn. But depending on the way the shape and form of the ball comes in are called differently. When you look at a skein or a hank of yarn, they come like this. Now you cannot knit or crochet directly from this. It does need to be wound up either by hand or by machine with a ball winder you can do it by hand as well, into a ball or a cake of yarn. A cake of yarn is just after your ball winder creates a cake. So hank or skein and cake. These are just the ways that are different ways of saying yarn. So this one is one of them that we have in the shop because I know I'll be asked. This is Oh No Not Again by Lolo Did It. And this is a bunch of minis that I did into a jumbo hank. But yes, so this is a hank or a skein that you usually need to completely untwist and skein up with a machine. I do have a YouTube video going over how to skein up a skein of yarn into a cake. So I do have that video and I will link that tutorial down below. So those are all of my fun knitting acronyms that I wanted to share with you, which are the most popular and I think are kind of the ones that are most used. Do you have any that I haven't mentioned down below, or have any surprised you? And is there any that you never heard of before? Let me know that down below. I want to continue this conversation with you all. Make sure again that you hit that like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any fun new episodes. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful and fantastic day wherever you are. And as always, happy knitting. Bye, friends.